Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. We are joined here by myself. Normally, I spend some time interviewing another wellness practitioner. Today, for Wisdom Wednesday, first of all, let me start over. We always interview people that will help us lead better, more natural lives. Today, we're talking about reflexology, and in particular, self-reflexology. I need to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Julie Bailis, and I am a National Board Certified Reflexologist. I'm based in Connecticut, and I have my own practice here. I was first trained, like many reflexologists are, I was first trained in foot reflexology, and then learned, hi Jess, and then learned hand reflexology, because I started working on athletes. And so I went and got that certification. And then I worked with Bill Floco and got ear reflexology. So they're all based on the idea that when we work the hands, the feet, the ears, we're not working on, let's say, the ear to relieve pressure or make the ear feel better. The ear, hand, and feet all have maps on them that give us a gateway to other systems of the body. So, for example, clients can come to me with digestive issues. And when I have a client that comes to me with digestive issues, I tend to work on the feet, mainly because the feet are closer to the lower body, and because the digestive reflexes are that much larger on the feet versus the hands. When we talk about self-reflexology, so that's you working on your own reflexes, I often teach my clients hand reflexology first, and I do that for a number of reasons. I do that because the hands are that much easier to reach. A lot of people can't reach their feet. It can be very, very challenging to have the flexibility to reach your own feet, and a lot of people don't want to touch their own feet. So those are two reasons why I teach hand reflexology, but also, or hand self-reflexology, let me correct myself. But also hand self-reflexology, let's take a look at the hands. When people come to me with a lot of stress and tension in the neck, in the shoulders, in the upper body, and if they complain to me about headaches or jaw tension, I immediately go to the hands. If you're a reflexologist out there or someone that loves reflexology, you can go ahead and type in any questions that pop up as I'm talking, by the way. So going back to the hands and why we work on them, if we look at the hands, according to reflexology, the fingers are the neck reflexes, all right? And hopefully, I think most people have this, their fingers are much longer than their toes. So that just gives us more surface area to work, to release stress and tension in these long fingers. Just gives us more areas to work with, okay? And we'll get a little bit more into the reflexes themselves. So today, I'm going to walk you through a hand self-reflexology session that you can do on yourself. That noise is my dog chewing a bottle, by the way. But also, I want to introduce to you some little tools that you might be interested in purchasing. I don't make any money off of this, so that you might be interested in purchasing just to make it easier on your own hands. So let's talk about the hands. Like I already got into, according to hand reflexology, the fingers correspond to the neck reflexes. So anytime we work or manually manipulate the fingers, we can open up, let's say, mobility within the neck, okay? So why don't we just start with that right now? You're gonna have your working hand that is gonna also work and support. So you can take one hand, and what we're doing is we call it thumb walking, but we're gonna be using the fingers and the thumbs to kind of inchworm their way through the hand, and we're gonna start working the nail part of the hand and this part at the same time. So you can start with your thumb, actually, and I'm going to And whatever's comfortable for you. My thumb is on top and I'm kind of inchworming my way here. Now I'm just showing you here. Oh, that feels really good. Pressing into the upper part, and really it's going to be you listening to the feedback that you have on your hands. So right now I'm feeling a kind of good intensity. So I'm gonna do some thumb circles there and then work my way down. Okay, and you don't want to have your hand up here. You want to have your hand in your lap and relaxed. I'm going to do the same thing at the top of the index finger, walking my way. This top thumb is kind of inchworming its way down. Let me see if that's better. Yep. And the bottom finger is supporting. That one doesn't feel nearly as intense. And you can go down to right about there. Squeezing the tip of the finger, and we'll get to the juiciness of the tip of the finger in a bit. All the way down to the knuckle. Ring finger now. And I just had a session with a client, so my fingers are very, very happy that I'm treating them. Am I doing a circular? Not necessarily. I'm inchworming down, and when I find a spot, I do a little circular thumb movement. Great question, Trisha. You're such a good student. So notice the pressure is pretty constant, and then I'm bending at this joint here. Yeah. And now I'm down to the pinky. Shake it out. Even just from here, notice how the hand that's been worked feels different from the working hand. Now I'm going to get to the sides of the fingers, and that's going to look very similar, but I'm just getting to the sides here, pinching. Both fingers are now pinching and working. And that's my dog whining for attention. I may have to pick her up and put her on my lap. Pinching along the sides. If at any point you feel a point that's like, ooh, that feels kind of intense, but in a good way, hang out there, do your thumb circles, do your finger circles. I'm just gonna pick up my little doggy here. You keep going. Oh, Daisy girl. Here we go. I'm on the middle finger now. Daisy on my lap is blind. And I hope she just doesn't walk off my lap. This is quite an intense light, isn't it? Oh, see right here on me? Feels so good. So I found a nice spot, and I'm doing thumb circles right there on the sides. So that does correspond to the sides of your neck. Ooh. Pay attention to how your neck and your shoulders may feel as you do this work. Make some fists, shake out that hand, shake out the working hand. And lastly, because like I said, this is going to be pretty quick, I want you to take a look at the tips of your fingers, the little thumbprint area. Right at the tip here corresponds to the sinus reflexes and the brain reflexes. And when I have clients that have a lot of anxiety or really, really busy minds, I encourage them to squeeze the tips of their fingers. Everyone can do that now. Go ahead and squeeze the tip of your own thumb. And you can do little thumb circles there or little circular motions there. And notice how that feels. It might feel nice right at the finger, but I was taught that it's also called a brain hug. And it does feel strangely nice on my brain, on my thoughts, when I squeeze there. And you can go to the index finger and squeeze there. Just notice how that feels. When people have sinus congestion, working the tips of the fingers can also help alleviate that congestion. I've certainly have had clients that feel sinus drainage after working the tips of their fingers, and in particular the tips of their toes with some eucalyptus oil. I've definitely had clients say that their sinuses have been have drained while I've been working on their the tips of their toes with some eucalyptus oil. I avoid using oil on hands just because if the client touches their face, that's not a good situation. Ooh. And now shake it out and go ahead and open and close that one hand that's been worked, and open and close the kind of working hand. This working hand saying, I need some loving, so let's go review our steps here. Pinching, thumb on the top, and walking your way down. I don't get that same kind of cranky feeling that I had in my other hand. Oh, right there, that feels kind of cranky. Now be kind to yourself. I'm not of the no pain, no gain. Because when we feel a lot of pain, what do you tend to do? You tend to just squeeze and tighten up. And that's not what we want to have happen. Squeezing. I'm on my index finger now. Pinching. Walking my way down. Oh, that feels really good. Oof. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my dog. She's just in my lap now whining. It's about that time, dinner time. And then I'm working the pinky. I don't know where you guys all are in your practice. Shake out the hands. And now I'm working the lateral sides of the finger. Now, do I do this every day to myself? It would be awesome if I did, but I don't. It's a good idea. I do try to stretch out my hands every day because I do work with my hands. I work on clients 4 days a week. I do other things with my hands too, so they get to be really tired. Computer work does a job on your hands. Squeezing the sides. All right. Shaking it out. And then we're going to squeeze the tips of this hand, the tips of the fingers on this hand. Little brain hug in here. Shake it out. I like to do this stretch. This stretch feels really good. Relax the shoulders. So that's my tiny little routine. Ooh, one more thing I actually want to add to that routine, since we've got the time, is to squeeze the webbing between the fingers. That can feel very amazing. Hi, Eileen. What squeezing the space between the fingers does is that it opens up the lymphatic reflexes, so it could actually help with lymphatic drainage and really can open up the energy in the hands. So we can go ahead and do that. So take the hand and pinch just right in between. This can feel kind of zingy sometimes. You can do little thumb circles there. So like I said, here you'll see a little point, a little bump of musculature. Go ahead and just pinch in between the index finger and the thumb. You can do some thumb circles there. Sometimes that can feel really, really, really tight. And remember to relax your shoulders as you do work on yourself. Now I'm taking the thumb and the first finger, squeezing the top of the hand. Sometimes that can feel very, very, very tender. Right now it feels just kind of tender. Going to the next finger. Ooh, yeah. And then finally, between the pinky and the ring finger. And we'll do the same on this side. Pinch between the thumb and the index finger. Oh, that feels so good. When you're doing this on your own, you can do it for as long as it feels comfortable. We only have a half hour today. don't be surprised if some of these points are very tender. It doesn't mean that there's necessarily anything wrong. It just means that area needs some attention, some opening. Shake out the hands, shake out the shoulders. Ah, feel that. Hands are on fire. When the deep connective tissue, the fascia, loosens up at the hands, we may feel that go all the way up into the arms, into the shoulders, into the neck, into the jaw, into the head. And that's the good news. The bad news is when we have tension in the hands, it can also move up that way too. So we want to keep the hands nice and open. So I also wanted to share with you some tools that may help you, because I know that working your hands can be work. So one thing, oh no, I have to move my dog. I'll be back, 1 moment. Where did she go? Here it is. And I did post a picture of this acupressure ring on the Mountain View Wellness Facebook page. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks ginormous, but it's actually, fits around your finger. I was introduced to these acupressure rings at the Reflexology Association National Meeting in Chicago. And if I can find that website where I found these, I will let you know. This is a very, very intense ring. I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, especially if you have thin skin and kind of tender fingers. The intensity of this is intense. It's just almost too much. They do sell acupressure rings on Amazon and online, but I feel like those are almost too light. It really depends on what kind of pressure you like. I like a lot of pressure. So the way to use these is essentially what we just did, right? So you're going to take one, put it on your finger, and roll it up and down. So it's doing the work that your fingers were doing. Okay. You don't ever want to leave it there because you're going to cut off your circulation. I actually saw a picture several years ago when I was first kind of learning about these, that somebody wore it to a party because it looked cool, and then their finger turned purple. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. And you can work all the way around. Oh, see, that feels really, really good because it's getting this tense tissue at the base of the finger that it can be hard to do with just your own hands because you're tiring out this hand. So this is one tool that I swear by. I absolutely love this acupressure ring, and I can leave a link on the Mountain View page or even within this Facebook Live comment feed after, okay? So I'll leave you some links to some acupressure rings. Oh, that feels so good. Now, another area that can be very, very tight is this area here called the thenar eminence, mainly because we're doing a lot of typing and using the phone. So how do we get to that area? There are these magic little balls, and you can buy these all different sizes through the MELT method, M-E-L-T, MELT. I actually attended one of, I forget her name, Sue Hintzman, her seminars about 6 years ago, and I totally encourage you to buy these little melt balls. They're amazing, and they come in different sizes, and she'll have a DVD of all the different exercises you can use. This one's a little softer, and look at the goodness you can do. You put them between your hands, and I'm getting right in there into the thenar eminence. I'm going to have to put my Yorkie poo down to show you. And I'm just rubbing that area out. Feels so, so good. Now, Sue Hintzman has DVDs. You can even find her online showing you different exercises. Now, this work here is even helping to open up my wrist. Lovely thing to do at the end of a long day typing or being on your phone. This ball is harder, and that feels pretty nice too. You can put it on a table and roll it out. I'm going to show you here. You see? And you can roll out your hand that way. Of course, Sue has her own system, which I totally think is amazing. And then finally, this little ball here is magic because you can take it between your fingers and squeeze, or actually take it between your fingers like this and do a little squeeze. Oh my God. And that feels super amazing at the end of a long day. Now, the melt method has Okay, so I'm back. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to finish it up. Like I said, I was using these little balls to go in between the fingers. And you can squeeze those and create some nice space within the joints of the hand. And finally, I have this. I don't know why I'm ending with this because this isn't my favorite thing, but you can also get this online and squeeze the fingers this way and along the sides. All right. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to make comments on the bottom, or to make lovely, nice comments or questions at the bottom of this post. And I will see you next week or the following week for another Wisdom Wednesday. We will be interviewing Dr. AJ Gagliardi about natural movement and posture. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for watching live, and thank you all for watching after we post this. Have a great day, and I hope to see you at our next Wisdom Wednesday another time.